佢死因咧係冇可疑之處。咁突然嘅死法，你會唔會覺得你好意外？當然大家都覺得非常之意外同埋震驚啦。
Bruce Lee, a Chinese martial arts star admired around the world, is a talented Hollywood actor. Over the past 50 years, the exact reason why a boxer with good health and daily physical training suddenly passed away at the age of 32 has always been a huge question. During the investigation of this case, many inferences and accusations were made against those who met him in the last days of his life. One of them is Raymond Chow, the first person to discover Bruce Lee's body. Accusations were made, but insiders remained silent. Now, the unexpected appearance of Raymond's diary has caused new details to appear in the old story. No need to guess anymore. Now let's open each page of the diary containing all the secrets about Bruce Lee and his sudden death that year. Being a legend, the life of Bruce Lee is associated with many unique aspects that not everyone possesses. Alongside the successes of the legend Bruce Lee, few know that his life had many other remarkable aspects. When asked about Bruce Lee, undoubtedly, people would say he was a master martial artist. Many believe Bruce Lee was the star of Kung Fu, but the truth is he never truly mastered any martial art. However, that doesn't mean Bruce Lee trained blindly. On the contrary, he didn't just pursue one discipline but chose to encompass them all. It is said that Lee only lost one fight when he was 14 years old. Bruce Lee at that time had not yet encountered martial arts, but he knew he needed to learn self-defense. Fate brought Bruce Lee to apprentice under Sifu Ip Man in 1957. He was taught by Ip Man the Wing Chun style. So why didn't the legend Bruce Lee master any martial art? It's highly likely because he was influenced by his master Yip Man. However, before completing his training, he moved to the United States to continue his educational path. Bruce Lee did not give up martial arts when he left Hong Kong, but his apprenticeship in Wing Chun ended. Later, the martial arts legend self-trained and created his own martial art. After leaving Hong Kong, Bruce Lee began teaching martial arts with his own unique style. He was influenced by the Wing Chun style, but the techniques belonged to Bruce Lee himself. He opened his first martial arts studio in Seattle. This place was called the Lee Jun Fan Gung Fu Institute. Bruce Lee continued to develop his style until he created Jeet Kune Do in 1967. This martial art was developed after Lee's bout with Wong Jack Man in 1964. Upon reflection, Bruce concluded that it took too long. Meanwhile, the martial art he is pursuing must bring victory as soon as possible. This led to the development of Jeet Kune Do, a fighting system that abandoned the rigidity of established forms and focused on practicality, flexibility, efficiency, speed, and physique. Most people don't know that Bruce Lee has been acting since he was a child. He was even acting when he was just 3 months old. In the 1941 film Golden Gate Girl, Bruce Lee played a Chinese baby. By age 6, he starred in The Beginning of a Boy. By his 18th birthday, Bruce Lee had acted in 20 movies. It's hard for anyone to think of Bruce Lee as a poet or a philosopher, but that's completely true. Bruce Lee studied poetry and philosophy in school, and his work was even published several times. Bruce Lee's understanding of philosophy helped develop a love of poetry. He used them as a way of expressing his emotions. Most of his published works were compiled and edited by John Little. The actor also read many books throughout his life. In his house, there is always a massive library. When Bruce Lee died, his library contained more than 2,500 books, many of which focused on martial arts and philosophy. Shortly before his death, Lee wrote a personal essay called In My Own Process where he reflected on his role in the world. Basically, I have always been a martial artist by choice and an actor by profession. But above all, I hope to actualize myself to become an artist in life. On July 20th, 1973, news of Bruce Lee's death spread, shocking all of Hong Kong. Initially, the Hong Kong press wrote famous martial arts star Bruce Lee suddenly fainted at his home at 11:30 last night. Bruce Lee's wife took her husband to Queen's Elizabeth Hospital for emergency treatment, but could not make it in time. The hospital has not been able to determine the cause of death. Besides grief, those who care pay attention to the cause of the death. Many people feel strange. A healthy martial arts practitioner with no signs of illness, why did he die so suddenly? There are many rumors surrounding Bruce Lee's death. People said he suddenly died on the bed of actress Ting Pei's house. After taking aphrodisiacs, people said he was murdered by Hong Kong gangsters. There was an article that said Bruce Lee was acupunctured by a master. This information from the hospital confirmed that he died from acute cerebral edema due to an allergy to painkillers. According to SCMP, 2 months before his death, martial arts star Bruce Lee suddenly fell ill and had to be hospitalized. In May 1973, while working on post-production of the movie Enter the Dragon, Bruce collapsed, lost consciousness, and was taken to Hong Kong Baptist Hospital on Kowloon Road. Before that, the martial arts star suffered from weakness, headaches, and seizures. Doctors diagnosed Bruce with cerebral edema, so he quickly started treatment. The doctors quickly stabilized the patient's condition with mannitol. After a short hospital stay, Bruce Lee was discharged and seemed to be in completely normal health. Although after being discharged from the hospital, Bruce occasionally complained of headaches, the martial arts star still maintained a strict diet and exercise regimen as usual. However, the situation that happened to him in May 1973 recurred on the fateful day of July 20th, 1973. That day, when receiving emergency treatment for Bruce Lee, doctors at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Hong Kong, China believed that the actor had died of cerebral edema before arriving. This life-threatening condition often occurs when the body overreacts to injury, stroke, or infection. At the time of Bruce Lee's death, a coroner concluded that the cerebral edema was caused by a reaction to the painkiller Accusations. This is the same medicine that actress Betty Ting gave him to relieve a severe headache in the afternoon of the same day. However, there have been many sources of information directed at the actress. Accordingly, at around 1 p.m., on July 20th, Bruce Lee's wife went out, and Bruce arranged to meet Raymond Chow Man Y to discuss the game of death. At around 2 p.m., Raymond Chow Man Y came to Bruce Lee's house. The two discussed the script for a while, then left the house. Around 4 p.m., the two went to the house of Betty Ting, the actress with a role in Game of Death, and Bruce Lee's lover. The three talked for about 2 hours. Around 7 p.m., Bruce Lee said he was not feeling well and had a slight headache. Betty Ting gave Bruce Lee a painkiller she often used. After that, Bruce Lee went into Betty Ting's room to sleep. At around 8 p.m., Raymond Chow Man Y went out for other business. Half an hour later, Betty entered Bruce Lee's room and saw him sleeping deeply. At 9 p.m., Bruce Lee was still not awake. At 9:45 p.m., Raymond arrived at Betty's house. He woke up Lee but did not see the actor react. After 10 p.m., the doctor arrived at Betty's house and found that the actor was in a coma. He was taken to the hospital immediately afterward but could not survive. Raymond was the first to reveal the news of Bruce's death, but he said he died at his home with his wife by his side. The actor's brother also confirmed this. However, the two were later discovered to have lied because, based on the vehicle's traffic records, the ambulance transported Bruce Lee from Betty Ting's house to the hospital. Public opinion criticized Raymond Chow, but there were also articles saying that his lies were well-intentioned. Because Bruce Lee was rumored to be dating Betty, if Lee's death is related to the actress, Bruce Lee's image as a star, husband, and father will be negatively affected. Initially, Betty denied the article, saying when he passed away, "I was not home, I was out with my mother. The last time I saw Bruce Lee was a few months ago. We ran into each other on the street." However, with the above evidence, many people believe that Bruce Lee died at the actress's house. All the anger focused on her. Betty was cursed and denigrated. People call her the murderer or the vixen. On Hong Kong television, Betty denied rumors that Bruce Lee died due to suppression while having sex with her that day. She admitted that both of them had sex, but Bruce Lee showed no signs of anything wrong while making love. Betty also denied rumors that she gave Bruce Lee aphrodisiacs before having sex, causing Mr. Lee's death. She insisted that she only gave Bruce Lee a normal painkiller that she and her mother often took. Although she was Bruce Lee's lover, Betty said Bruce Lee's wife, Linda Lee Cadwell, knew very well about their secret relationship. Betty Ting said that both she and Linda respected and understood each other because of Bruce Lee. But public opinion never stops just because of the words of someone they are suspicious of. Some people believe that if Betty did not kill Bruce Lee out of personal vengeance, then she, an assassin of the triad. Betty used to be involved in a gang in Hong Kong. When he was young, Betty often fought in the streets. Many people believe that in one such street fight, Betty beat the son of a gang leader to a pulp. According to another conspiracy theory, because Bruce refused to pay film set protection money to the triads, they ordered his death. There is a theory that it was not a gang in Hong Kong but a gang in mainland China that murdered him. According to this conspiracy theory, films by Hong Kong stars Cantonese threaten the dominance of Chinese films in Mandarin. Worried about their investment, mainland filmmakers hired someone to assassinate Bruce Lee. Some other people said that Raymond Chow was also suspected of Bruce Lee's death. The two together founded the film company Concord Production, helping produce Lee's films, including Way of the Dragon, Dragon Fighting Tiger, and Death Travel. Although they are business partners, Raymond Chow and Bruce Lee have an uneasy personal relationship. Some people believe that Raymond Chow prevented Bruce Lee from leaving him to do business with the Americans, and Lee's removal also gave Raymond Chow full control of Concord Production, which owns Lee's most famous films. According to them, with Lee's death, Raymond Chow could take advantage of the martial arts star's reputation to sell films to an international market that is hungry for martial arts action works. In fact, many years after Bruce Lee's death, Raymond Chow finally released Death Travel. Only 11 minutes of Lee's action performance was used in the film. The rest of the time, Raymond Chow used actors who looked similar to Lee and a stuntman. This movie even has footage of Bruce Lee's funeral in real life. There was a heated argument at that time. Dr. Donald Tier, a forensic expert sent by the British Police Scotland Yard because Hong Kong was then a British concession, concluded that Bruce Lee died of cerebral edema due to a reaction to painkillers. But Donald Langford, Bruce Lee's personal doctor, countered no one dies from just 2 aspirin pills. People do not dare to say directly that Bruce Lee died from chewing marijuana found in his stomach. Lee used it regularly for a long time due to the stress of fame. Others have suggested that the marijuana found in his digestive system may have been the cause of death. but forensic scientist Donald Tier, who was assigned to the Bruce Lee case, denied this. Get this. Even though the autopsy results were like that, many people still did not believe that such a healthy martial arts legend could die so suddenly. Some other theories are that Bruce Lee died due to too much martial arts training, drug abuse, or being seriously injured in previous martial arts matches. In 2018, in the biography Bruce Lee: A Life, author Matthew A. Polly hypothesized that cerebral edema was caused by overexertion and heat stroke, especially since Bruce Lee had removed his lower sweat glands arm in 1972. 2 months before his death, he also lost 15% of his body weight, weighing only 54 kg. However, a 2022 study speculated that Bruce Lee died from drinking too much water. Kidney experts in Spain published in the Journal of Clinical Nephrology the hypothesis that the actor's brain was swollen due to the kidney's inability to excrete excess water, leading to low blood sodium levels. They all stop at hypotheses, based on different signs on the actor's body, but the final truth is still unanswered. Whether or not Bruce Lee used stimulants is also always a topic of interest. Many people believe that stimulants were the cause of the death of the martial arts legend. Some experts who have studied Bruce Lee's biography have written about this, and some letters identified as Bruce Lee's handwriting also show evidence that the martial arts legend used some stimulants within a few years before his death. Dr. Donald Tier was the one who performed the autopsy after Bruce Lee's death. Indeed, stimulants were found in the actor's stomach, but Dr. Donald Tier steadfastly denied that stimulants were present as the direct cause of Bruce Lee's death. He said that if he came to such a conclusion, it would be both irresponsible and unreasonable. Many people believe that during his lifetime, Bruce Lee had conflicts with gangsters in Hong Kong, so he was retaliated against. In fact, since he was a teenager, Bruce Lee had conflicts with a dangerous criminal gang in Hong Kong. It is rumored that Bruce Lee once taught a lesson to be close to the son of a gangster in the port country. At that time, Bruce Lee often participated in fights. Gradually, the impulsiveness of adolescence brought Bruce Lee into unpredictable and dangerous troubles, causing Bruce Lee to decide to leave Hong Kong to live in America and leave behind a troubled youth. Later, when he returned to Hong Kong to film and become a star in martial arts films, Bruce Lee still refused to give in to the gangs. At that time, gangster gangs were very influential in the filmmaking world. Guys often pressured film crews to do business, including investing in projects, movies, and protection for film crews. That was a reality that existed in the Chinese filmmaking world at that time. Bruce Lee's film projects are very popular, but the martial arts legend refuses to set aside a portion of the budget to pay the gang to lawyer with the film crew. Gangsters in Hong Kong at that time often thought that thanks to their protection, the film crews could make movies in peace, so the film crews needed to pay them. Bruce Lee did not give in to that argument. The actor participated in many successful film projects but never once divided the money among his brothers and sisters. Over time, Bruce Lee gradually became considered guilty of the gangsters in Hong Kong at that time. In addition, Bruce Lee's popularity also made the Hong Kong martial arts film genre so dominant, overwhelming the films of mainland filmmakers. Many people believe that this has caused gangsters in the mainland to feel uncomfortable with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee passed away at a very young age, but his influence on cinema and martial arts remains to this day. He is considered the creator of the Kung Fu craze, which took over Hollywood and spread throughout the world in the 1970s. He broke the racial barrier for Asian actors acting in American films. Bruce Lee's characteristic style also inspired directors in the US, Hong Kong, China, and many other cinema backgrounds. Not stopping in the film industry, Bruce Lee is considered a cultural icon and the most influential martial artist of all time. In 1999, Time magazine called him one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Bruce Lee founded Jeet Kune Do, which combines many different forms of martial arts. Jeet Kune Do is also considered the forerunner of mixed martial arts with the prestigious UFC sports tournament system. Bruce Lee's image and martial arts style are also deeply embedded in popular culture with the video game series Street Fighter, UFC, and hundreds of similar games. Bruce Lee's son Brandon Lee followed in his footsteps as a martial artist and actor. However, in 1993, Brandon died at the age of 28 on the set of the movie The Crow from a gun accident. His son's death makes speculation about the gangster gang even more valid. It is believed that Brandon's death also had an impact. Bruce Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee, also became a martial artist, actress, and president of the Bruce Lee Foundation. Since her brother's death, she has actively proposed making gun safety training mandatory on film sets. Celebrating the 50th anniversary of her father's death, also 30 years since the sudden passing of her brother, MS, Shannon shared a touching letter about her two loved ones in People magazine. "Thank you both for showing me what it feels like to be safe and loved. That's all I need in this life. That's everything." Shannon ended the emotional post. Even though to this day the cause of Bruce's death is still controversial, one thing that cannot be denied is Bruce Lee's influence on the cinema industry and fans. In this photo, you will see how big his popularity is. 50 years after his death, fans gathered around his statue in Victoria Harbour, Hong Kong, China, to commemorate this talented man. Standing in front of the life-size bronze statue, a stream of people bowed, placed flowers, and took photos. Some others recreated Bruce Lee's famous martial arts moves and danced nunchaku, the weapon associated with his image, along with unique screams. At the martial arts legend's grave in Lakeview Cemetery, Seattle, Washington State, USA, several dozen people stood around. They laid flowers, burned incense, talked, and took pictures with Linda Lee Cadwell, Bruce Lee's wife. It can be said that no one has been able to surpass the story and success of the legendary Bruce Lee until now. The things he has done have brought the actor's reputation to new heights. Not only did he have remarkable achievements, but Bruce Lee's departure also brought with him many mysteries that future generations still cannot decode. The assumptions may all have their reasons and grounds. If which hypothesis can convince you, please leave a comment below this video and we will continue to discuss it together. Thank you for watching our analysis. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more interesting videos.